great to see you guys all today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and turn to Ezra chapter 4. We're going to continue to learn about building and maintaining the temple through the book of Ezra. Just so you know, John's on vacation this week. I'm just filling in for him today. Okay? I thought you'd like that. Yeah. So, but when he gets back today, tomorrow. I think he's back tomorrow. And when you guys see him, make sure you let him know how much you appreciate him. I had to like jump right in. Today is going to be a much shorter sermon. You're welcome. Whenever I come back from vacation, I was like, we got to go easy on him, okay? It's going to be shorter, but the reason why is because, well, today is Father's Day, and we had to embarrass the fathers like we did the mothers last month, right? And so we're going to be doing a very special live version of Kids Say the Craziest Things. And dads, just so you know, I gave you a month's notice. So you should have been prepping your kids this entire time. So when I ask, what's dad's favorite thing to do, they don't say something like, sleep or drink beer, okay, whatever. Okay, hopefully they don't say that. But then again, moms, at the same time, you had a month to prepare for the dads. I mean, really, you could have done a number on them. So you were warned. We're going to get right into it. Last week, John was talking about Ezra chapter 3, the second part of chapter 3, where they're building the foundation. The foundation part was very important. One of the things he said was that when we're building our temple, it's very important that we praise and give thanksgiving to God throughout the entire process. Because what you see in this passage is you see a group of people that are praising God because the foundation is laid, but then you see a group of people that are crying, that are weeping, that are mourning because it's not what it used to be. And when it comes to building a temple, it is very important. It is essentially important for us to look forward and to not keep looking back and living in the past. And so John shared that last week, and so let's jump right into chapter 4. The Israelites had laid the foundation and apparently made a lot of noise. Ezra 4:1 says, when the enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard, when they had heard, stop right there. Notice what it says there. Apparently the mixed noises of rejoicing and weeping, it was a lot of noise, it was a lot of sound, and it caught the attention of someone very specifically. And it says they're enemies, they're foes, they're adversaries. See, Judea was not completely empty of inhabitants. We already talked about this a couple weeks ago. There was a remnant of Israelites that were there. They were the ones that they weren't necessarily considered, they were the rich ones had been taken off, those that were in high stature were taken off. There was a lot that maybe were poorer, and they were left behind. But they weren't the only ones there. There was also groups that kind of started to migrate into it, but then also Syria had brought into it a group of people as well to help populate the northern kingdom. These were the early Samaritans. They were the early Samaritans. The early Samaritans came in, and they began to intermarry with the Israelites that were left behind. And here's what we know. Here's what we know through God's word about these Samaritans. 2 Kings 17:33 tells us their attitude. They worship the Lord, but they also serve their own gods in accordance with the customs and traditions from which they have been brought. So worship is actually it's used very loosely here. It's used very loosely. It's like saying, this is the equivalent for us to say, okay, they went to church on Sunday. And Tuesday they went to the temple. On Wednesday they went to the mosque. And Thursday they went to the monastery. And then Thursday they went ahead and sacrificed their firstborn kid. Okay, that's kind of the modern day equivalent. Okay, or essentially you went to church on Sunday. The rest of the week you did nothing. You didn't follow God with everything that you had. That didn't happen. So that's pretty much what's going on. And God's word says, these people were enemies. They were enemies of the Israelites. But you guys might not realize this. And if you don't, I'm very sorry to burst your bubble. But the truth is this, is that you all have enemies. You all have enemies. You might not realize it. You might, I'm going to say, I hate to say it, if you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. I have enemies. I want you to know that. You need to know that you have enemies. There are people out there that don't like you. There are people out there that can't stand you. There are people that, for lack of better words, they hate you. And it's not easy to accept, it's not easy to like, but that's the truth. And they might even do and say things that hinder you, that harm you and your family, your job, your reputation, your character, even your walk with God. There are people that can't stand me. I know, it's shocking, right? Oh, you guys are so quiet on that. I don't know why. But there are people out there that don't like me. And I don't like thinking about that. Like, it does bother me a little bit. There's a part of it that bothers me. But it's true. I want to think that everybody loves me. And everybody is my friend. And I want to think that, like, when they look at me and they smile and say, hello, I hope you're having a great day. When they say that, I'm hoping that they're not, like, when I walk away, they're not, like, mumbling under their breath curses. Like, I hope he falls on a stupid face. Or I hope all his hair falls out and his eyebrows and just leaves a beard, because then that would match how stupid he really is. How stupid he looks and how stupid he is. That would match. Like, I really hope people aren't saying that. Because it's really mean and extremely specific and weird. So, but the truth is, there are people out there that don't like me. They don't like me. They can't stand me. And I have enemies that are undermining my efforts. For example, I had this one guy. It was real fun. I had this one guy that he would after the sermon, he would come up to me many years ago. He would come up to me and say, "Fantastic sermon, Pastor. Good job. Spot on." But to everybody else, he'd go, "Man, that guy's horrible. He's like the worst preacher I've ever heard." And I didn't realize it until someone came up to me and goes, "Hey, you're not nearly as bad as what Kyle said you were." I'm like, "Wait, what? Are you kidding?" And so, like, that was a shock to me. Because to my face, it was everything's wonderful, you're great, we love you. But behind my back, it was, oh no, it's horrible. You see, here's the deal. That's an enemy. That's not a friend. That's not a brother in Christ. Why is that an enemy? Because what it does is it undermines my work, and it undermines my efforts to be better. See, I want to be the very best that I can, which means I take criticism constructively. I'm all right with that. But if you're not willing to share that with me, then how in the world can I grow? That's true. It's not something a friend does. That is actually something an enemy does, and they do it in order to tear down and hurt you. Now, here's an interesting thing. This is the thing about enemies. Paul writes this in 2 Corinthians 11. He says there's going to be false teachers, and there's going to be deceitful workers. They're going to pose, they're going to pretend to be apostles of Christ. And very specifically, he says in verse 14 about man's ultimate enemy, he says, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light." And so when it comes to the temple building, when it comes to growing in our relationship with God, we need to understand this. We need to understand, number one, we have enemies. And we need to understand that sometimes those enemies are trying to be our friends in order to sabotage us from the inside out. In order to sabotage us from the inside. So I want you to write that down. The enemy will sabotage my efforts. So jump back into Ezra 4. This is what we learn, all right? Ezra 4, he says this: "When the enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the exiles were building a temple for the Lord, the God of Israel, they came to Zerubbabel and to the heads of the families and said, 'Let us help you build, because, like you, we seek your God, and have been sacrificing to him since the time that Ezra king of Syria, who brought us here.'" Kind of seems nice, doesn't it? You're like, hey, this is kind of cool. They want to help out. That's awesome. You want to help out. You want to partner with us. It's almost as if they're extending the olive branch, right? But here's what happens. This is the response. Verse 3, "But Zerubbabel, Joshua, and the rest of the heads of the families of Israel answered, 'You have no part with us in building a temple to our God. We alone will build it for the Lord, the God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, commanded us.'" When I first read this part, I thought to myself, it's kind of harsh. Many years ago, when I first read this, I'm like, this is kind of harsh. They just want to help out. But see, the thing is this, it's not harsh. Actually, what we see here is wisdom. See, they know things that we don't know. And actually, they tell us right in the very beginning. He says, guess what? These are enemies. These are enemies of Israel. These are enemies of God. And they're trying to get involved with this process. And here's the thing. We sit back and they say you have no part in this. Why do they have no part in it? Because they weren't true worshipers of God. Now they said, yes, they are. They said we are worshipers of God, but man, saying you're a worshiper and being a worshiper isn't always the same thing, is it? It's not always the same thing. And you're sitting there going, well, yeah, maybe they did make sacrifices to God. Maybe they did. Maybe they did worship God, but they also worshiped all these other gods as well, which is, we know, according to our God, he says, there's no room for that. Nope. There is no room for that whatsoever. So that's what we know about them. The Israelites knew about them. And it seems the Israelite leaders made an extremely wise choice here. Extremely wise choice. Verse 4 through 5. Then the people around them set out to discourage the people of Judah and make them afraid to go on building. They bribed officials to work against them and frustrate their plans during the entire reign of Cyrus, king of Persia, and down to the reign of Darius, king of Persia. That's how you know you're going to work out there, folks. See, when they say they want to help out, and you're not comfortable with it, you're like, no, I don't think so. And then they do everything they can to undermine you. They do everything they can to hinder you. See, the Israelites knew this was a political move. The Israelites knew that this wasn't something that they were going to benefit from. They understood, and they knew the truth. They knew this was a political move that they were doing just to get involved. And how we know they're enemies is because if they were true worship of God, whether they were rejected or not, they would never do anything to harm the building of the temple. But that's exactly what they do. They bribe officials. They discourage the workers. They do everything they can to stop the building process of the temple. Because they weren't true followers of God. Here's what I've learned over the years, folks. Don't take spiritual advice from someone who isn't following God. That's like the worst idea ever. That is the worst idea ever. Listen, don't tell me how to be a follower of God when you aren't. Don't tell me how to study God's word when you don't. And don't tell me how I'm supposed to serve when you aren't. Like, don't tell me how to build and maintain my temple when you aren't the temple of God. Like, don't seek counsel and advice and information from people that aren't following God. And this is what the Israelites knew. They understood that there are false teachers and that there are deceitful workers, and they understood that their greatest enemy, Satan, masquerades as an angel of light. They understood all this. And so they were very careful not to let them get involved, not to let them get their hands in it, because even when they didn't allow, they still hindered their process. Imagine what would happen if they let them in. So the big question is this: like, we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. We gotta know who our enemies are, who our allies are, who we can trust. And here's how you know. I want to give you a few things. Here's how you can tell. Here's the best advice I can give you. Number one, we need to pray for discernment. We need to pray for discernment. Philippians chapter 1, verse 9 says this, and Paul writes, and this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and be pure and blameless for the day of Christ. Discernment means to test. It means to examine. It means to scrutinize. So what we need to do is we need to have that type of mindset. We need to pray to God and ask God to give us discernment, a discerning heart, so that we know who to trust. We know who to hold at arm's length. We know who is our allies. We know who our enemies are. Because it's essential that you know you have enemies, and it's essential that you know who your enemies are. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pray for God's discernment. This is something that Paul was very big on. We need to have a discerning heart. Know what is right. Know what is wrong. Know what God's word says. Know what God expects. And line that up with what you hear, what you see from other people. And by what you see, that's the second thing I want to draw your attention to. The second thing is this: look for the fruit. Look for the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And so we pray for discernment, and we look for fruit. We look for the fruit of the Spirit when we're looking at them. So if they don't have the fruit of the Spirit in their life, don't look for spiritual guidance from them. Like, if the first three things you see from them is like hate, misery, and war, hard pass. Okay, hard pass on that. Find somebody else. It's not going to work. I had this, when I was a younger minister, I had this friend, and I use that term friend very loosely right now. I didn't realize it at the time, but I had this friend, and he was new to the church, and I was a youth minister, and I'd probably been a youth minister for about 4 or 5 years. And he came in, and we started hanging out, and we were getting along real well, and he was like, hey, I want to help out. I want to volunteer. I want to be involved in the youth ministry. And I was like, great idea. Like, we get along, we hang out, we're friends, because it's been a couple months now. I was like, that's a great idea. Yeah, come and help me out. Because he had volunteered at his home church, and he wanted to volunteer at our church. He's like, hey, I just want to help. I want to serve God. I want to help you, and I want to do the very best that we can. And so I was like, oh, awesome, that's great. I love getting new people involved. And especially as a youth minister, I was like, I could always use more help as a youth minister, right? I need volunteers bad. You should have seen my youth group. Yeah. Some of them are still here. As adults, they're all like, yeah, he's right. So anyways, I love getting new people involved, but here's the thing. You can ask my students this as well. I was very protective of my students. Very protective. And so I would ease volunteers in. I would ease them in. I would give them a little bit of responsibility at a time. And I always do that. And the thing was that he didn't want that. He wanted to go 110% all the way right from the beginning. Let me do this. And I said, let's just slow down a little bit. Let's just start with one thing, and then we'll go from there. And we started that one thing, and he kept pushing me to do more and do more and do more. And I was like, I started to see something. In him that made me take a step back and go, I don't think I'm going to give him anything else. And it wasn't really what I saw, but it was what I didn't see. I didn't see the fruit of the Spirit. I saw a very angry individual. I saw a very aggressive and selfish individual. I saw an individual that started to cause dissension. And it comes to find out that this wasn't, he wasn't looking for friendship, and he wasn't looking to help out and volunteer. He was actually looking for a job. Mine. And he actually went to my boss at the time and said, you need to fire him and hire me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's really bold. I was like, I admire your boldness, but you're still kind of a jerk. But the thing was, is I kind of experienced it, and I kind of saw it, and I didn't see the fruit of the Spirit. I quickly realized, yeah, there are deceitful workers, there are false teachers, and even Satan masquerades as an angel of light, and we need to know our enemies. We need to know where we stand. And we need to test that. We need to know who the pretenders are, and we need to know who our true brothers and sisters are. Because nothing derails the temple building process than like opposition coming at you, and enemies coming at you. And listen to this. This is the thing. Like, you skip down to the end of chapter 4, verse 23. Verse 23. It says right there, that's the work on the house of God in Jerusalem came to a standstill until the second year of the reign of King Darius. That's 15 years. Nothing derails the temple building process than the opposition of an enemy. And so I encourage you guys, as we are doing this, as we're building our temples, we're maintaining our temple, as we are doing our very best to be followers of God, let's take this warning. Let's take what we learned here from Ezra. There are going to be people out there that are your enemies, unfortunately. They don't have your best interest in mind. They want to do anything and everything to undermine you. It's very important that you know you have enemies and that you know who they are. A lot of times they're going to pretend. They're going to pretend to be your friends. They're going to pretend to masquerade as an angel of light. The truth is, they're not. Pray for discernment. Look for the fruit. Pray for discernment and look for the fruit so that you know who is your friend and you know who is your enemy. Because nothing derails the temple building process more than the opposition of an enemy. We stand this now as we sing.